Hey guys, what's up? Zombie here. Welcome to Evilzombies Lair. This is episode 21. So we made several episodes and we made a lot of progress. I'm really happy that this show's gone this far. Today we're going over a lot of things. We're going over first some personal updates and stuff. We're going to go over some movies and TV news, multimedia stuff. We're going to go over the anime recommendation of the week after that. Then we're going to go talk about some cool tech news I thought was pretty nifty. And then we're going to go over the main topic, which is building custom PCs. Okay, guys, let's jump into it. Okay, guys, so personal updates. First things first. Pretty much, I've been relearning a lot of Unreal, and that has basically been my life recently. Other than my work, my job, I've been doing Unreal. So I've been doing my IT work in the daytime, but every day at 4 a.m. I've been waking up and I've been doing Unreal Engine 4. I've just been pounding through every tutorial I can go through. I've been learning as much as I can. Really, I actually know a lot of it. There hasn't been much that's taught me that's new other than, oh, that's where this feature went to now, or it's called this now. So really, everything I just kind of pick up again because I'm really good at learning engines. That's actually one of my things that I'm proud of. Because originally I wanted to be a level designer a long time ago, and I've just picked up engines pretty quickly from going from one to another. I've used at least 5 engines, 5 various types of engines. I think, yeah, but they're not too far off from one another. Just knowing the differences is enough, But I've been learning a lot on it, and there's a lot of things that have been changed, but I'm working on it, and I'm pounding through it, so yay. Other than that, we also got some new couches, which I am very excited about. If you're watching the YouTube side of things, not listening, then you can tell behind me, oh, there you go, that there are some there's a new couch behind me instead of that old brown one. That's actually sitting out front right now. Today we're going to take it over to Goodwill or Salvation Army. Probably Salvation Army. So once we take that one away, yeah, that's going to be gone. But yeah, we have this couch in here now because we got those new leather ones out there. And we're really excited about that because I've never had a nice reclining chair before in my couch. So I just sit down. I'm like, so good. It feels good. I'm happy about it. So yay. We have new couches. That was a big part of our life right now. And guys, another thing, if you've been listening to this, there's also a YouTube variation of it. You can listen to this, or you can watch this on YouTube. Might actually have better audio quality. I'm using WAV files for my default format for everything, and I try and keep it all as good as I can. But yeah, you can watch all this on YouTube also, all 21 episodes, just under the playlist I made for it, Evilzombies Lair playlist on that channel, youtube.com/evilzombie123. Or there's also a link in the description below if you want to get all of the episodes, the audio version, like the MP3 file, and you can just download it and listen to it on your device later. Because I put them all in the Google Drive just so you guys can have access to them easily. Okay, guys, moving on. That's in the link below, or in the description below, there's a link. Moving on to the next part, we gotta keep this rolling because time constraints. I gotta get back to studying the engine a little more before I go to work. Okay, guys, so anime recommendation of the week. I gotta say, Nichijou. I love Nichijou. It's a fantastic, random show of what the heck did I just see. That is exactly what you need to watch. The whole time you're gonna be going, what? And then you're gonna start laughing by the time you get to the second episode. And you're gonna love it. Every little bit of it. I need to watch that show again. It's fantastic. It never got a second season, but the first season is amazing. It's a similar taste to Pop Team Epic. If you took my advice and watched that one, because it's so silly and random that it's just wonderful. I love it. So that's my anime recommendation of the week. If you want to see what other anime I have seen, if you want to look at the list that I have put together, then go to myanimelist.net/profile/evilzombie123. Okay, guys, moving on. Tech news now. So I was looking at different processors recently, and apparently the new APU that came out from AMD is actually pretty badass. It's pretty nice. The Ryzen 5 2400G APU. It's basically and it's only like $160 for this GPU, but it's about the equivalent of getting the i3 and a dedicated video card together. So it's a good entry level for gaming, at least, or at least entry level for it. If you don't have another option, if you're doing 1080p, it'll work beautifully, because it's the same. It costs less than if you get an i3 and a GTX 1030. So it's like laptop gaming performance, but it's better than nothing, guys. It has a really good price. It has the same power requirements and yeah, just go AMD, because I'm fed up with Intel and their high prices, and AMD is awesome. My next build will probably be AMD, because forget Intel. I might even go with their video cards, because forget Intel. No, I'm forgetting NVIDIA. All video card prices are just jacked up right now. It's messed up. Now, I know I'm talking about custom PC building today, but you honestly do want to wait a little bit, because the next wave of video cards, when it comes out, go for it, because they're going to be amazing. And the next mid-levels will probably be the same as this time, or the next entry levels will probably be the same as this year's mid-levels. Okay, guys, so we're moving into the main topic now, by the way. We're going to talk about what you need to get for building a custom PC, all the components you actually need. Because a lot of people don't approach it because they don't know what they need to put into it. So we're going to talk about that. Okay, first and foremost, the biggest thing you need to get for your computer is your motherboard. This defines what the rest of your computer will be. And yes, I'm doing hand motions like a Jedi Master trying to trick you. If you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening, just listen to the ASMR voice. No. My voice is not that pleasant. But yeah, guys, motherboard is the first thing you need to get. I prefer going for an ATX motherboard just because I enjoy having the expandability to do different options. But they do make very small form factor motherboards if you want. They have extended ATX motherboards where they're just freaking huge. You need a full tower. They have, mid-size, or they have ATX, and they have, micro ATX, and then they have mini ITX, which is the smallest. Micro ATX is about right here, this big. If you're looking on YouTube, you can see where my hands are. But, like, the size of a sheet of paper. Mini ITX, it's like the size of the palm of your hand. That's how wide it is about, if you have a big hand. But yeah. Think of Shaq's hand just spread out. That's mini ITX. But no, the mini ITX computers are basically made for if you want a really compact computer, the size of a lunchbox or a flat computer that is easy to store and very small. So those are very handy, and they're getting a lot more powerful now. The technology is catching up finally, where a lot of people want smaller computers that are just as powerful. Sure, you're not going to cram 128 gigs of RAM in there, but you can get 32 gigs of RAM on a mini ITX motherboard and a dedicated video card. You can get these things for it, and that's pretty nice. But the thing to remember about when you get your motherboard, guys, is that you first have to pick the size, of course, and that will dictate the type of case you get and the size of some of the parts you will get as well. Like how if you get a mini video card, compare like a GTX 1070 mini, which is only 4 to 6 inches long, I think, compared to the full version of it, which has better cooling, but ends up being about a foot long. So do you really want to go for the foot long? Okay, I won't joke about that anymore. You've heard enough dad jokes. But no, then you also got to choose the RAM type with it. You got to, no, RAM's always uniform. The CPU cooler, though. The CPU cooler, you can get a flat one, liquid cooling, that sits right on top of the processor. Is pretty cool. Or you can get a big air-cooled one if you don't care about size. I'm using a Noctua cooler in there, in my case, that is just enormous. But it keeps it really cold. It's a fantastic cooler, and I have no complaints about it. It costs the same as liquid cooling. I just didn't trust liquid cooling at the time. I didn't want to make a custom liquid cooling loop. But nowadays they have a lot more elegant solutions for it. So there are options in cooling for that. But yeah, guys, for your motherboard, you also when you choose your motherboard, that will dictate what type of RAM and what type of processor you get. The processor is also called the CPU. The whole computer is not called the CPU. Don't call it that. CPU means Central Processing Unit. It's a part. It's a part inside your computer. Okay, guys. So for your RAM, that basically is motherboard specific. When you're looking for a motherboard, scroll down on the Amazon page and look for the recommended RAM. A lot of times, if you don't know what kind of RAM it is, then what people bought with it will probably be what goes with that motherboard. Then just scroll over to find the amount of RAM that you want. If you have a favorite company, if you know what you're doing, then look for whatever company RAM you like. I prefer G-Skill RAM because they have a decent price, and I've never had a failed stick from them ever. I've never had a bad stick of RAM from G-Skill. They've been great. And I've been building custom computers since 2003, back when they announced Doom 3 and Half-Life 2 were about to come out. That's when I started building my custom rigs, and that's how long I've been using their RAM, and I've never had a failed stick, just telling you. No sponsors or anything, they just work. I'm happy about it. And next, you also got to pick your processor. Now, your processor is a pretty important thing when you're picking your motherboard, because, well, sometimes you can get them as a combo. That is an option sometimes. The RAM you pretty much always have to buy separate. But the processor you can sometimes get as a combo if you want to get like an i5 or an i7. Now, yeah, we're going to get into the different types of processors in a minute. But, alright, I'll just talk to you about it right now. There's entry levels, and then there's mid levels, and there's high levels. The biggest right now, the most popular, is the i series. There are also AMD processors like the Ryzen series. There's Phenoms, there's Athlons, there's a lot of different series for AMD. So unless you are experienced in building computers, don't go looking for Athlon right now, because you're basically going to get confused unless you know what you're looking for. There are a lot of different names, and Intel has succeeded mostly because they kept it simple. The i3s are the entry level, the low power. The i5s are mid-level. They can do some gaming, but it's not really good for doing video production, things like that. The i7s are the beasts. And there's also an i9 series coming out, or that just came out, that is just the holy grail that everything bows down to because it can handle anything. So there you have it. That's the Intel breakup of the tiers. And they will charge accordingly. They will charge accordingly. Heaven help you, they will. But the processor is not the most expensive part. The video card is. So, moving on, guys. The tower. If you've picked your motherboard size, pick that type of tower. If you picked a mini ITX, type in mini ITX towers when you look for it. If you picked mid-size, if you picked the ATX, go for a mid tower or full tower. If you went for an extended ATX, go full tower only. Trust me. I use a half-X case, and I'm loving it. Half-X. Their cases are actually really nice. I mean, it has plenty of room. It keeps it cold. My computer really doesn't get above 34 Celsius, and I'm using air cooling, which is not bad. And it's considerably quiet, considering I'm only 4 feet away from it with a condenser microphone. You really don't hear the computer unless you really jack up that sound a lot. So it's considerably quiet, and I've been happy with it. But I'm not recommending specific parts that much. We're going to move on to the next part. Power supply. Sometimes you can get a power supply with your case. They'll bundle it sometimes. But if you can't, if you're going for a gaming rig, if you're going for anything less than a gaming rig, just an average computer, go like 500 watts and below. You're probably fine with that. But if you're going for a gaming rig, I would suggest going over 600. Over 600 watts. Now, it's only going to cost you $80 for $80 to $100 probably for a power supply. I have a 1200 watt power supply in mind because I wanted to hook a lot of things up to it, and I want it to work really well for a long time. That's why I went for a hardcore 1200 watt power supply. It's like platinum rated. But yeah, I suggest you get something based on what you have in your system. I would suggest at least 600 watts for a gaming system, and then build up from there. So check your power requirements, check what you're going to need before you buy it. Sometimes you can get a combo, and it will save you money. So check on that too. A lot of times they'll say buy with, or there's a drop-down option that says, oh, here's the combo version of this package. Okay, guys, moving on past that, processor cooler, we talked about this a little bit. So you can get air cooling, or you can get liquid cooling, or you can get custom liquid cooling. Or you can get no cooling if you want. That would just ruin your processor, though. Unless you're using like a cell phone processor like an Atom or something. Or, I forget which one, an ARM processor. But no, if you have an air cooling system, if you're watching on the video side of YouTube, let me show you something. The video side of people can look at my computer right there. As the inside of it, and you can see my big freaking processor cooler right there. It's huge, it's enormous. There, now I picked up the camera and I've messed everybody up. But no, seriously, the processor cooler, it doesn't matter if you do air, it doesn't matter if you do liquid or custom liquid. You will get good, decent performance out if you pick wisely. Like the, what was it, the H2, wasn't the H2O 212 or something? There's another air cooler. Noctua is my favorite brand, but I think Cooler Master does some really good ones. Noctua worked really well for me. Just saying, they're big, they're ugly, but they work really well. And then you have a lot of Cooler Master, Corsair, Next. They all make really good liquid cooling systems that are closed loop. Closed loop means you don't have to put it together custom, and there's no maintenance, because they're using a different type of liquid, and it doesn't gunk out like some of the old stuff. Or you can do a custom cooling loop, where you put every little piece, every gear is all put in yourself. And it works the best. It cools everything off really well. But it's a lot more complicated. Okay guys, moving on to the next part. Video card. This is the part you don't want to do. The reason you don't want to build right now is because the video card is so freaking expensive. That's just because the crypto miners, the cryptocurrency people, they keep buying out the entire stock, and now video cards are like $1,000 a piece. It's ridiculous. So wait until cryptocurrency dies out a little bit. Just wait it out. Just wait it out, because it's not worth building right now. It's just not, because of the video card price. But once that's done, you can get a video card. And basically, if you're going 1080p, you're good anywhere between, anywhere above 2 gigabytes. 2 gigabytes and above you're fine with. I'm using a GTX 680 on a 1080p screen. My old GTX 680 video card has 2 gigabytes of RAM, but I overclock it a lot, so it works really well for me. I can still max out Doom. So, other than that one texture setting that requires 4 gigs of RAM. Everything else I max out. But yeah, so be considerate of what you actually need in your video card. And much like the processors, you're probably going to be more familiar with NVIDIA naming schemes than AMD, but they work on a pretty similar type of basis. Lower numbers mean lower tiers, of course. But when you're getting your video card, think of like the GTX 1060 or 1030, 1050, 1040. Those are entry level. 1060 is where you start to get into gaming. 1060 is actually a pretty good video card. I think the 1060 is the same performance as a 970 from the previous generation. Okay. And when you're getting more into hardcore gaming with a 4K screen, and you really want to push and see how much you can do, and you got VR, then a 1070 and a 1080 and a 1080 Ti are the ways to go, because those have a lot of RAM and they're very fast, but they will charge accordingly. Like the best video card used to be $500, now it's like $1,100. So just wait it out. You'll probably be good. So it's not worth buying right now, but I'm telling you ahead of time, video card is very important, because that is pretty much the core of your gaming system. If you build a gaming system, you need a video card, because also if you do video editing, you can push the processing power onto your CUDA cores, and it takes like 1/10 the time. That's what I do, and that's the only way I can do it. Yeah, I work with Sony Vegas a lot, and they have an option for these videos. I have an option for moving all the processing power to my CUDA cores in my video card, and it works really well. So I love doing that. And if you guys actually want to know how to do that, I'd be happy to make a video to show you. It's cool. Okay, guys, moving on to the next part. Lighting. This is not required, but it looks cool. If you're going to build a custom computer case, my guess is you're probably going to have a window. And you're probably going to want lighting. Don't forget to buy an LED light strip to tape to the top and the bottom. And then they make them where they change colors now. Mine, it only came in red, but that's my favorite color. And I don't know if I see red the same way you do, because I'm colorblind, but red. Red's awesome. No, you can get LED color strips to just plug into your motherboard and you have a little Bluetooth remote. I have a remote on my phone because your phones do have an IR sensor. So then an IR receiver on it and a sensor so that you can still point it at the receiver, click the remote color setting, and it will change the color. For me, the blue's broken on mine, but the green and the reds work fine and it works really well. I've been enjoying the lights. I like having lights on my computer and on the back of my screen so it illuminates the wall behind it. It's a cool little feature and it'll cost you $10. Go for it. You know, it's like the smallest cost in your entire computer and it makes it look so cool. Nobody has ever complained about lighting. It's awesome. Okay guys, moving on, next part, monitor. I would suggest a TV, honestly. Unless you're a competitive gamer or someone that really needs that low millisecond response time, who cares? Just go for a TV. It's hundreds and hundreds of dollars cheaper. It's way cheaper. I'm using a 43-inch TV for my monitor and it only costed $280. That's a smart TV. I mean, it does everything I need it to. I can hook up multiple consoles to it. I can have a whole entertainment setup right here at my computer. And that's why I have a couch back there so me and my wife can watch movies if we want in the computer room. That way it's quiet and it doesn't wake up the kids. So, yeah, I would suggest getting a TV maybe for a monitor unless you really need, really need low response time. But even then, TVs now also have a gaming mode where it lowers the response time for things to happen. So, yeah, a gaming mode. It lowers response time at the cost of slight quality, but it works faster. So it's worth checking out, guys, because smart TVs have gone pretty far, and they work really well for monitors. The colors are nice. I have no complaints about mine. Okay, guys, moving on. Do you really need 4K also? Not really. I don't think you really need 4K unless you're sitting this close and you have really nice eyesight and a really good video card. But you really don't need it that much because a lot of time, if you're going to watch a movie, you're going to sit back. You're not going to sit right on your screen. Okay, guys, moving on. Mouse and keyboard. Well, I'm running out of time. Mouse and keyboard. Sorry, I keep on staring up at the clock over there if you're watching me. Now, these are actually an important part that you need to put some careful dedication into looking for because you want to find one that feels right in your hands. You want to find a keyboard that feels good. I like a mechanical keyboard, but since I can't afford that right now, I have one with a low-level key press that feels like a laptop keyboard because my next favorite type of keyboard is a laptop keyboard. I know that's the complete polar opposite of mechanical, but it feels good. That's what I like to type on. This keyboard just specifically feels good for me. And I like the grip on my mouse. I've gone through several mice. I've looked through several reviews on Amazon. I examined those pictures, and I found one that has a large hand size. It fits my hand, covers my entire palm size because I have very big hands. I'm a person I have friends that are like 6'4", 6'5", and my hands are bigger than theirs. I have big hands, so I needed a mouse that was big enough to fit that. So I have to look at gaming mice that are pretty good size, and I found one that I like based on what the dimensions were, what everyone said, if it fit large hand sizes. So read your reviews, find out if people felt it was comfortable, if it stopped working after a short amount of time. Go looking at that because keyboards and mice, there's something you don't think about at first, but you really want them to just work. You want them to work well and comfortably. That's kind of important. I mean, it's one thing you touch every single day with your computer. I just knocked the whole thing. I'm sorry. If you're watching this, you probably saw the whole microphone shake, and if you're listening, you've probably heard it. Sorry. Okay, guys, but moving on. Speakers. Now, personally, I'm using speakers from the company Genius because they had big hi-fi speakers. I like hi-fi speakers for my computer. I used to go for the whole subwoofer and 2 satellite speakers, but I get way better and louder, clearer sound with a bigger bass from these hi-fi speakers than I ever did from that. And it costs less. I mean, for like $60, I got gigantic 40-watt hi-fi speakers, and I love it. I mean, I can shake the wall a little bit. It's awesome. So check out speakers. Look at what size area you want. If you don't want a giant subwoofer, just get some hi-fi speakers. They work really well. They sound good. I have a tweeter, a mid, and a sub and a bass. The sub on each speaker. Then it has all your plugs, all your controls on the bottom of it, and they work pretty well. I've been loving them. They're basically just giant speakers that are about 18 inches tall and 7 inches wide. But I have no complaints because they look really nice and they're loud. But speakers are something that you either choose if you want to hide them or you want to show them. And if you want to show them, you want to be nice. And you want good sound because if you're going to do gaming, editing, anything like that, you want decent sound. If you want to watch movies on your computer, you want good sound. It's just something you need. Okay? Or soundbar. Soundbar might be a pretty good option. Depending on what your situation, what your area is, look at what your desk is like. Okay, guys, moving on. Webcam. I would really just suggest one webcam. The webcam I would highly recommend to you guys. It's about $50, $40. The Logitech C920. That's what I'm using right now to record this. My only light that I have is blocked by my full tower over there, behind, like on the other side of the room. My full tower computer is pretty much blocking the entire light. So it has really good low light condition correction and good autofocusing right now. If I move around a lot, it'll probably autofocus again and it'll throw it out of whack. But I move around a decent bit at least, and it still focuses on my face. So this is what the quality of it looks like in 1080p, and I think it's a good option. It's a great webcam. I've never had an issue with this webcam. You guys will like it. It's good. It's $50. Just put the money into it and get it if you want to do any kind of recording or gameplay video. Or just having a clear video when you talk to your relatives. It's a good camera. And it has a cheap microphone on it, but I would suggest another one. The microphone, I know I'm using a condenser right now, but I like the sound I get from this microphone. When you go through several microphones, you start learning what kind of sounds you're going for and what you want to hear. This has what I want to hear. This is an MXL 770, but this is not what I would recommend for a starting microphone, because you need an audio interface for this and all that. If you want just a good all-in-one microphone that's great, handles fantastically, first I would suggest getting the arm, the scissor arm, the boom arm for your microphone. If you're watching YouTube, you see that I have one. That was $13 from Newer. Amazon, that was $13. The arm was $13, dirt cheap. And it works really well. For the microphone, I would suggest getting the Q2U, Samson Q2U. Now, it's pretty much the same thing as the ATR 2100 or the AT 2005. It's just a bit cheaper, a little lower price, but it's both XLR if you want to upgrade in the future to an interface, and it's USB. So you can plug it in anywhere, and it's a dynamic microphone. This is a condenser microphone, which requires fan and power. The one I'm using right now is a condenser, requires fan and power, 48 volts. Oh, this one probably requires just under that, but pretty close. But this requires fan and power, an audio interface, XLR cables. No, the USB, you just plug it right in, you're good to go. So if you're looking for anything on a budget that has a great dynamic microphones also pick up less background noise too. That's why you get those. You have to talk a little bit closer to it. Like you have to be maybe 3-4 inches away from it, 3 inches. Right now I'm probably about 6 inches away from this mic. And I have it just off axis. But no, the Q2U would be a great one for you if you're looking for a decent microphone, because there's really nothing wrong with it. It's a fantastic mic. So, okay guys, that's where we're going to wrap it up for the day. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you enjoyed this. Please tell me in the comments below what you want to hear about next time, what you loved, what you hated. Talk to me, okay? I do listen to you guys. So, have a good one, guys. Keep being awesome. Watch some of the other videos if you want. Because if you're on, you can go visit my YouTube at youtube.com/Evilzombie. You can also listen to my podcast on Apple Podcast. I guess it's not iTunes anymore. So Apple Podcast at Evilzombies Lair. Or you can go to my other one, which is Surviving Depression with Evilzombie, which is a podcast based around helping people who go through depression. Okay, guys, have a good one. See you later. Keep being awesome.